Hi, all that are viewing the recording. I'm gonna start letting everyone in a second. So if you're just watching the recording of this, you can get comfy. It's been a while since I've done anything on Zoom, so I'm getting freshening back up on my setup. Morning.
Hey, Jamie, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
Good. Hi, Karen.
Hello.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good, thanks.
Awesome.
I am recording for some people, so just so you know, it's being recorded. If you ever can't make it, I can send that out. But I'm waiting for one more to hop on live and then we'll start.
Sounds good.
Yep, and you can have your cameras on or off, whatever you're more comfortable with. Yep, there she is. Perfect. Hi, Heidi.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yep, I can.
Hello.
Thank you.
I'm glad you made it.
Me too.
Awesome. So I know it's just the three of you that are live today. The rest are catching the recording on their own schedule. So we'll get started. I'm going to just mute everybody and we'll get going. It's been so long since I've done anything on Zoom, setting myself up and the camera up. I don't really miss it actually, but I'm glad you guys are here. All right, so we're gonna start in a seated position. I've got my cushion. I always like to start with something under my hips, just for a little support as we start to tune into our practice and start to kind of center ourselves. So if it's comfortable for you to close your eyes or just soften the gaze. And we'll just start maybe with a big sigh if that's what you need to do. I know that's often what I need to do when I arrive on my mat, is just arrive here. Let go of anything that's already happened this morning. Any conversations you've already had that you just want to let go of. And of course, letting go of any to-do lists for the rest of your day. We're here, we've arrived on our mat for our practice, and sometimes that's the hardest part, just showing up. Now that you have arrived, let's turn our awareness to our breath. So inhaling through the nose, we're going to expand the belly big. And then the lungs, and then the chest. And then exhaling through the nose or the mouth. So on that exhale, just exhaling with whichever feels more natural, more comfortable. That could change from day to day. Inhaling through the nose, belly gets big, lungs and chest. And then exhaling through nose or mouth, and you feel that air leave the body, the belly deflates. So this morning, let's think about trying to match our inhale to our exhale. So say maybe we start with a count of 3, just for a starting point, because we're all on different journeys with our breath. So inhaling to the count of 3, and then exhaling to the count of 3. So you want your breath to match. Same pace, the same depth, the same rhythm. 1, 2, 3, inhaling. 3, 2, 1, exhaling. Oh, on whatever pace is more natural for you. So you set your pace. Maybe you're more at a 5 or a 6 count. But this is a great breath practice to just start recognizing if the inhale and the exhale are matching, and to increase your lung capacity, the belly's capacity. So each time you come to the mat, maybe trying to lengthen that count. Be starting with a 3 and slowly expanding. Take a few more nice mindful breaths with the count you've chosen this morning. Hopefully you've felt yourself start to ground down. Shoulders have started to soften away from the ears. And when you're ready, eyes can stay closed or they can flutter open. But we're just going to start to take the head and the neck in circles. Like you're painting a circle with the very tip of your nose in front of you. So chin coming across the chest, back of the head just rolling along the shoulders. Maybe you add that breath work in here as you inhale across the chest. You exhale along the shoulders. When you're ready, we'll change directions. So we'll paint that circle the opposite way. We'll keep that breath setting the pace. And then when you're ready, or after your last circle, coming back to the center. If hands are on knees, you can keep them there, and we'll start to rotate through the waist and the low back. Opening up the heart across the front of the mat. Maybe rounding the spine across the back. Again, working with your breath here. Nice and natural rhythm. Natural pace. Maybe the shoulders start to dip as you cross the front of the mat. And then changing directions when you're ready. Good. One last rotation and we'll all meet back through the center. And we're going to bring the palms of our hands together at our heart. We're just going to draw the elbows up and we're going to press the hands together. Strengthening through the chest, strengthening the shoulders, stretching the wrists. And then interlacing the fingers, and we're just going to flip the palms, pressing away, all the way up overhead, and pressing all the way out, arriving right back where we started. We'll do that 2 more times. And on your last one, bring the hands all the way in behind, interlace the fingers behind the back, draw the knuckles down, lift the heart. Beautiful. Bring the hands back in front one more time. We're going to interlace them again. This time we're going to draw the knuckles out in front. We're going to drop the chin and we're going to open up the shoulder blades with a little bit of a rounded spine there. Good. As we come and we sit up nice and tall, the hands are just going to come underneath the chin and we're going to guide the head back. Good. Chin drops down to neutral and we bring the hands behind the head. And we'll just let the weight of our arms guide chin to chest. Just getting a nice deep stretch now through the back of the neck into the shoulders. And then as we lift the head, those hands are going to stay there. And we're just going to take a little paddle of the elbows. And then a little back stroke or a back paddle. Good. Awesome. You can release the arms down. I'm going to remove my pillow. I'm going to bring the hands in behind. Got my diffuser going. And my floor is wet now. So I'm going to bring my feet out in front, hands in behind. We're just going to wake up the legs. So nice windshield washers. Think about pressing the top shin. So as you windshield wash, just add that press to that top shin or slight adjustment forward to really get into the low back and hips. And then if it's comfortable for you, just drop the knees to one side and take the head the opposite way. If a full twist isn't comfortable, you could always just keep windshield washing back and forth. And breathing into this twist. Beautiful. And we'll switch sides. Head opposite of the knees. Breathing into your twists. Good. Legs back to the center, soles of the feet come together for our butterfly. I'm just gonna grip my feet or the tops of my toes. I'm just gonna bounce the legs out, waking up the hips. And then we're gonna send the elbows to the inner thighs, add a little weight down, open up the hip flexors, and maybe just releasing the upper body or releasing the head and the neck. Closing the eyes here. And bringing yourself back to your breath. So inhaling through the nose, expanding the belly, and exhaling through the nose or the mouth, emptying all that air back out. And we'll take hold of our shins. We'll just peel the heart up to the ceiling. Finding a little gentle back bend here. Good. And releasing. Stretching the legs out. If it feels good to shake them out, take that shake now. Maybe a little point and flex of the feet and the ankles. And then a big sweep of the arms, a big inhale, find some length, take your gaze up to the top of your fingers and then flipping the palms. We'll just float all the way down to a forward fold. Sending your breath to the backs of those legs and knees. And coming all the way up. And as we come up this time, we're going to bring the legs into pinwheel shape. So I'm pinwheeling off to the left. So both of my knees are kind of aimed to the left while my feet are to the right. So think of a pinwheel in your garden blowing. I'm going to scoop the right toes at the back, and I'm going to bring my hand to my left thigh or knee. And we're just going to find a gentle rock in the hips here. Great. Now with my left hand, it's going to come down to the mat, and with my right hand, it's going to pick me up, bring me onto my shins, and take a nice big side stretch. My fingertips pointing to where the ceiling and the wall meet. I'm going to take a few circles with that arm. Catching both directions. Good, and then cartwheeling myself all the way back down. And I'm going to stay here in my pinwheel. We're going to switch it up a little bit. So my left hand is going to stay on the mat, and my right hand is going to come right to that hip bone. So imagine you have like a spotlight on that hip. You're going to shine it down towards the mat. So your left hip and bottom are going to come up off the mat, and then you're going to roll yourself back down flush. So that right hand's just guiding that spotlight on the right hip, and you're rolling back and forth. Just drawing that right side up off the mat and back down. I really like this one for like low back pain. Obviously, hip mobility here. Beautiful. All right, so come back down and just switch your pinwheel all the way to the right. So feet to the left, legs to the right. We'll start with the rocking horse. So hand comes to the right thigh. We scoop the back toes. We'll just rock it out to start. Good, and then from here, right hand comes down to the mat, left picks us up onto the shins, big side stretch. And take some circles with that left arm when you're ready. And changing directions. Until you land all the way back down in your pinwheel. Awesome. Right hand's going to stay on the mat. Left hand's going to find the hip. We're going to shine that hip down towards the floor, just like we did on the other side. Good stuff. Letting that release back down. Again, we'll swing the legs out in front. Find a little shake, find a little forward bend, just stretch that back out. Whichever way feels good for you. When you're ready, you're coming back up. We're going to come back to our cross-legged seat, this time letting that right leg and foot rest in front of the left. So I'm not pulling it into my full cross leg. I'm just laying it down in front of the other. If some people find this a little bit challenging to sit like this, so if you need to kind of stretch that right leg out a little bit, you can do that too. All right, from here, more hip work. We're going to bring that right foot right into the left elbow and the knee into the right elbow. So it looks like I'm holding a baby or something. So your hands can come right across. You can interlace the fingers, or if that isn't there, you're just holding that leg. And we're just giving that hip a little rock back and forth. Find what works for you. If that's too much and you just want to put the left hand right on the foot, that works too. Obviously, just listening to where you're most comfortable. We're going to lay that leg back down in front. We're going to bring the arms overhead with a stretch straight above. So like you're climbing a tree. Grabbing onto one branch, then the other. Finding some length through the side body. Connecting with your breath. If maybe the mind has started to wander. And then bringing both hands up at the same time. Flip your palms forward and then just float all the way down. And here you're just going to find what works for you. Maybe you land on the palms or the fingertips and you're just staying right there. Maybe you're able to melt down a little further, coming onto forearms. And close the eyes if that feels good as you send your breath into that right leg and hip. Try to release the shoulders and the neck. Nice mindful breaths here as we send some love to that right side. And we'll slowly start to walk ourselves back up out of that fold. We're going to keep the legs where they are. We're going to bring the hands in behind. And we're just going to open up the heart space to the ceiling. Or if you'd like a little more here, we're going to pick the seat right up off the mat. Come on to the shins. And take a little back bend. Nice and slowly releasing back down when you're ready. And we're going to switch the legs. So left leg's going to scooch in front of the right this time. Remembering that one side may feel different than the other, so just adjusting as you need to. We'll start with that rock. So finding whatever works for you with that left leg. I actually hurt this knee myself, trying to be like really adventurous mom at the cottage. So I have to adjust myself. I was trying to be like super fun, climbing the forest and up the hill, and I slipped. Learned my lesson that I'm not 20 anymore. Just rocking that out. And then laying it down back in front of the right side. And then coming to that stretch overhead. Climbing that tree. Lengthening. Stretching the rotator cuff and the armpit. Good. Both hands come up at the same time. Maybe taking a peek up to the fingertips. Flipping the palms forward. Floating all the way down. May feel different on this side, so maybe it's fingertips for the left. Maybe it's palms. Maybe you're still melting down the forearms. Releasing the head, the neck. Shoulders. Sending that left side some love now. Nice mindful breaths. And slowly walking yourself all the way back up. Same thing on this side, hands coming in behind and either just lifting the heart or taking it up onto the shins, lifting the seat. Beautiful, releasing yourself all the way back down, legs come out in front, give them a shake. I'm gonna turn on my mat. We're gonna point the toes up to the ceiling. We're gonna engage these legs. We're gonna bring the hands to the hips and we're gonna find ourselves nice and tall through the spine. Pulling the belly in to engage the core, opening up through the chest. Breathing as we strengthen here in staff pose. And we'll inhale the arms up just like we did before, taking a gaze up to the fingertips. Flipping the palms and release those legs. Let the knees fall open. Let the ankles and toes fall open. Let the back round. Let the head drop. Nice, relaxed forward fold. Closing the eyes, finding your breath. We'll tuck the chin. Just start a nice roll back up. We're going to point the toes here. Getting my Zoom warning. So we're going to point the toes. We're going to bring the hands in behind, just like we did when we had the legs in front of one another. We're either going to lift just the heart and open the chest up, or we're going to come into a reverse plank and take the seat right up off the mat. And then nice and slowly lowering yourself down. I'm going to cross the legs. I'm going to bring the hands out in front to transition to all fours. So coming into your tabletop, and we're just going to come right into a nice cat-cow stretch. So in your cat-cow, just breathe as it comes naturally. So maybe for you, inhaling on your cat feels right, and exhaling on your cow feels right. Or maybe it's the opposite. Just do what feels most natural. Let the breath set your pace. Inhaling on one of the postures and exhaling on the other. The next time you arrive in your cat pose, I just want you to hold it. Press the mat away from you, tuck your chin, tuck your tailbone. Just holding that stretch. And then drop into your cow, lifting the tailbone, lifting the head, and pause here. Good. Find your neutral spine. Send the big toes together. Send the knees to the edges of your mat. Peel the hips back and find your child's pose. Whatever yours looks like. Could be forehead on the mat. Could be stacked fists. And chance here again to close the eyes. Connect with the breath. In child's pose, we can create this little cave all to ourselves. Just listening to the breath and feeling the body expand and contract with each wave of that breath. Maybe it feels good to just rock the forehead back and forth. And releasing the neck, massaging the brow. And then we'll take the hands to the right side of our yoga mat, placing the left hand on top of the right. We'll take our hands to the left side of the yoga mat, placing the right hand on top. And we'll bring the hands back. We're going to spread the fingertips. We're going to spread them to the width of your mat, setting up for a down dog. So curling the toes under, peeling the hips up and back, and just taking the dog for a walk here to stretch the legs out. Shifting into some stillness in your down dog for a couple breaths. Clawing through the fingertips, pressing the heels back. When you're ready, dropping the knees down to your mat. We'll cross at the ankles and we're just going to sit back. So finding your comfortable seated position again as we begin to close off our practice this morning. I invite you to close your eyes or soften your gaze. Just letting your breath come into a nice natural rhythm now. Letting the body soak in the benefits of your practice this morning. And letting the mind find some calm before you continue on with your day. This time of year, we add so much extra to our plates. Our expectations are high. Make sure you take time like this morning, taking care of yourself. Because if we don't fill ourselves up and take care of ourselves, we won't be able to take care of everybody else in our lives. So bring our hands to heart center. And I say to you all, may you be happy, may you be healthy, and may you be whole. Namaste, everybody. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for joining me. I will see you all next week, hopefully.